Hi, and welcome to Jeremiah's Medieval Cooking, where we take your favorite medieval recipes and make them a reality. Today, we'll be cooking Chewettes on Flesh Day. Now, you may be asking yourself, as I did when I first read this, what in the world is Flesh Day? So, the Catholic Church in the medieval era banned, as a fasting ritual, meat on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So any other day, including Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, were counted as flesh days, where you could eat meat. Now, what a chewette is basically, according to Charles Livingston in an article on medieval chewettes, a chewette is basically a pastry. It is a filled piece of dough that you wrap all the way around itself. Think like empanada is basically a chewette. It can be filled with anything from pork, chicken, fish, to non-meat items like vegetables, fruits, anything like that. Sweet, savory. A chewette is anything inside of a dough-filled pastry. So, our first line in our recipe says to take the lie of pork, carve it all to pieces. So, what is a lie? Well, according to the medieval glossary that we were given in class, a lie basically just means the flesh. So take the flesh of pork and carve it into small pieces, which I will now do. Now, after we've cut the pork all to pieces, we will take hands therewith, do it in a pan, fry it. So, we're just going to take it and fry the pork in a pan. So the next line in our recipe says to make a coffin as to a small pie. Now, when I first read this, I thought, why in the world is there a coffin in my cooking recipe? However, after doing some research and looking at the medieval glossary, I found that a coffin just meant anything or containing anything within another thing, which makes sense. What is a coffin but really just a big box that's holding a dead body? So instead, we're making a pastry holding, well, a dead pig's body. As you can see, I've laid out several pastry crusts. Now, a medieval chef would have made their own from scratch out of flour, yeast, water, and probably a little bit of sugar as well. However, I cheated a little bit and I bought Pillsbury pizza crust because I don't want to make bread today. Alright, so the next line in our recipe says to do thereupon yolks of iron hard. Now, I had no idea what iron was, and when I looked it up in the University of Michigan Medieval Terms Glossary and the medieval glossary that we were given in class, I couldn't find it. However, it says yolks, and that only really means one thing to me, eggs. So, hard eggs. So here I have some hard-boiled egg yolks that I made earlier today, and we're going to put those on the pastries because it says to put it upon the yolks of iron hard. Alright, so here I have what is my best guess as to what the recipe wanted, which is hard-boiled egg yolks on top of the pastry dough. So, the next line in our recipe says to pondos of and 2 yolk symbols. Now, the pondos is the spices mix that we learned about in class. Each chef would have their own, so I'm going to make my own here and do whatever I want with that. However, the back-to-back yolks, I don't know what it is. I looked up, I couldn't find anywhere, so I'm just going to skip over it for now, and I'll see if I come back to it. So after that, it says to add salt and then cover it. So I'm going to take the pork, put it in each of these pastries, and then season it and cover it. Alright, having gone back, I saw that Charles Livingston, in his article on chewettes, actually translated the double yolk as garlic. And so, using my very medieval garlic mix, I seasoned and covered in the pastries the pork, the fried pork. So now I'm going to take it, bake it, and then we'll serve it therefore. Alright, so here we can see the final result, the chewette on Flesh Day. a pork-filled pastry. Slightly burnt, but other than that, pretty good.